Midway through the season, having a great year. This morning they moved up to number 19 in the national rankings for Division II. So, Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm Brad Hebner, Coach, and Dantes Jolly is with us today, a Kutztown student. So, Coach, just want to ask you a few questions. How's it feel to be in the top 20 in the country at this point?
Well, it feels good. The kids worked their tails off all year, and being 5-0 is something that's it's a blessing right now. We just got to keep trying to win 1 week at a time and not stub our toe. And, we kind of have our destiny in our hands here, so it's a good feeling.
What's the highest you've ever been ranked as a head coach, even if it's Division III from your time there?
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe like 6.
Okay.
6 or 7 maybe, something like that.
Okay, and I know you have a game coming up this week, and then not too far off in the distance, you have Westchester, and they're ranked slightly ahead of you. It's a good league. No week is easy. Last week proved that. You had a tough one at East Stroudsburg, but you pulled it out. We did.
It was a tough game. We gave up 20 points in the fourth quarter, and that was disappointing. And credit to East Stroudsburg as well. Coach Dallas had those kids playing hard, and they fought to the end, and we were fortunate to come out of there with a win. Westchester's the same way. They were up at Bloomsburg for homecoming, and I think they won by 17-14, something along those lines. So every week's a battle in the conference, so just got to be ready to play every week.
How have the students responded? Has there been more of an attendance at the games or more?
We've only had 2 home games so far, and both were great atmosphere, loud, packed stands. It's a great atmosphere. When you win here at Kutztown, the student body, the administration, they get behind you and they support you. So it's a good thing. We're going to give them something to cheer for.
And I saw your offense is averaging around 40 points a game. Not quite, but close to it. Is that something you foresaw before the season started, that you'd have that much firepower?
Yeah, we were confident that we could score points. Our offensive line has done a great job for us. We've got a few guys back that are starters from last year. We've got 2 capable quarterbacks. Collins played really well. Eric Nichols played really well. I feel we have one of the best running backs in the country in Craig Reynolds. And if you look at the guys that are catching the ball, we're spreading it around. We've probably about 8 or 9 different guys catching the football.
Yeah, and one of them is freshman Alston Wolf, and you included him in the passing game, having him throw a pass from wide receiver a couple weeks ago. Then he caught a pass down near the end zone. How is he adjusting to the college game as a skinnier freshman?
He's doing well. I like to call him crazy legs. He's skinny, he runs a little awkward, but I'll tell you what, he's fast.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a fast kid. That's the main reason. One of the main reasons he's out there for us is we feel he's got really good speed and he's got big play potential, along with Brandon Smith, another one of our freshmen.
Can you talk about you and GA, your offensive coordinator? Tell that story again, some of your background. I know you guys have been friends a long time, and I guess he hired you at one point, and now you hired him here. Give us some of the background with you and Coach Mangus.
Yeah, well, we coached together back in '95, I believe. He was hired at Widener University. I was a student assistant. And then we hooked back up in '97. We were roommates. So we coached at Widener from '97 to, I think, '98, right around there. And then he went on to assign us. I stayed at Widener, and he got hired at Delaware Valley College. He was there a couple of years before he brought me up. And we connected there and did really well together. I think we were 24-2 when we were there. And he went on to get a job at Middle Tennessee State. I stayed on at Del Val as the head coach, and he was with Spurrier at South Carolina. Things when Coach retired, he was bouncing around, and I figured, hey, let's get him up here. I wanted to make a change with what we were doing, and he's been great. He's come up here, brought a different style of offense to what we were running. I think the kids respond, and we've done a really good job. I think together our record's pretty good when we're together. I think we've only I don't know. He probably knows the stats better than I do. But when I was with him at Del Val, I was running the defense, and he really didn't step on my feet at all. He allowed me to coach and do what I needed to do. And same way here at Kutztown. I mean, his offense, and he's running it, and he's making decisions, and him and the offensive staff. I let our coaches coach, and he's got tons of experience, and he does a really good job there.
We have G.A. Mangus here, the offensive coordinator from Kutztown University. He has a pretty distinguished background, too, in the SEC. Right now, their offense is averaging close to 40 points a game. And, Coach, is it going exactly as you planned? You're 5-0. You're scoring points like crazy.
Well, it's good. I'm kind of a guy that's never really satisfied much, but we're not as good as we can be, but we're much better than we were a calendar year ago, that's for sure. And it's a testament to the kids. They put a lot on them. Still young. We're still very, very young. We don't have a senior on our O-line. We don't have. We've got a couple of senior wide receivers, but we played a bunch of youth last year at that position. And then obviously Craig, our senior, running back, but he didn't play much last year because he got hurt.
Right.
And, so there was a lot of room for improvement last year, and the receivers really took a step forward last year after Craig went down. And we needed them to end up at 8-3, which was, a good year for Kutztown if you look at the history. And so that was fun. And leading into this year with most people coming back, we really only had to replace Garb, who was an outstanding first-team All-PSAC tight end,
right.
And then Skyler, our right tackle, and Jake has come in and filled that. But the O-line's done a nice job, and as long as they continue to get better and more cohesive, and they're now predominantly all of them have played 2 years, but they've all changed positions. We moved Matt in there to center, and he's really shored up our interior game, and we've been able to run our inside zone stuff much better this year than we were a year ago. So,
how much of what you ran at South Carolina do you have in here at this point?
Just about all of it. We continue to add as the kids allow us to as coaches. We had with spring. I wasn't here last spring. So last fall camp was a constant install, all along because it changed the verbiage, Jim and I go so far back, and I just said, look, I'm going to call this what I like to call, been calling it for 20 some odd years, And obviously we don't carry everything.
Right.
One game plan.
Well, everybody thinks of Steve Spurrier, they think of what he did at Florida. But really, at South Carolina, a lot of those years, there's a lot of ball control and letting your defense kind of do a lot of things more than he ever did at Florida. A lot more running the ball than throwing it. Not that he didn't throw it, but not like he did at Florida. So where are you on that continuum run-pass? Because you ran for 300-some yards this past week.
Yeah, we did. I've never been much of a necessarily a balanced guy. I think that's, I'm all about, you got to score points. The object is to score more than what the other team scores, and that's how you win. I do like to, I'm a believer in controlling tempo, not going fast all the time. So we control it accordingly how the game's going. When I was young, it was all about points and yards, chase the next job and all that kind of stuff. And then I was fortunate to be a young head coach, and then all of a sudden you got to worry about winning ball games, and you take time of possession comes into a little bit more, but really only in that 4-minute plan and at the end of half and managing the clock. And
Against Bloomsburg, he threw a lot of passes and touch.
He did. He can throw the ball. He can spin the ball and throw it. And his confidence, the Gannon game, just really, it was his first start, and on the road, in the PSAC, out west, long road trip. But we had full confidence as a staff and put him in there. And I think that, and he obviously had a heck of a game.
Yeah.
And I think that just really kind of solidified in his mind that, hey, I can play. And he appreciated the opportunity. I really like our team. I really like our kids because I think they really deep down like to be coached, and it's practice is fun.
You know what else you like, Coach? Candy bars. You get to pick one of the four. Which one of the four do you like?
You know what? I'm kind of old school.
So am I.
I like I do like a whatchamacallit, but I'll go with 1,000 grand. How about that?
Go ahead, take it, and then
My favorite Halloween candy.
As your correspondent said, you probably choose.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, that's old school Halloween candy. I used to like those when they had the little small ones, short fat ones, 1,000 grand.
What if we would have had score here? Would you have taken score? Just because it said score and you're an offensive guy?
I'm not familiar with that candy bar.
Are you really?
No, what is it?
It's like Heath bar. You ever have a Heath bar?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just like that.
I could have. Yeah, maybe for the name of it, I might have.
We're going to give you the lightning round. We'll give you two choices. Just tell me real quick which one I like. Pass or run?
Pass.
Offense or defense?
Offense.
Gamble or play it safe?
Gamble.
Kick off deep or pooch?
Deep. You got a kicker.
Okay. Size or speed?
Speed.
Lombardi or Shula?
Lombardi.
College football or pro?
College.
Big Ten or SEC?
SEC.
Favorite college team at any level?
Florida.
You get the drink in front of you. We all have the same drink, but which candy bar are you going to select, Coach?
I mean, that's like really hard and difficult. I love
It is.
them all.
It is.
I would definitely lean towards the score bar. And I do like a whatchamacallit. I've been a fan of whatchamacallits for a long time. But yeah, I would probably go with the score bar.
That's yours. Okay.
All right.
You can have something to drink too. It was actually a trick. I thought the defensive coach would never pick the score. That's why I got that.
Oh, we can score on defense.
Quick bonus round here, lightning round. I'm going to give you two options. Just quickly, whatever comes to your head, whichever one's more you. Pass or run?
Run.
Offense or defense?
Defense.
Gamble or play it safe?
Gamble.
Kick off deep or pooch?
Deep.
Size or speed?
Speed.
Lombardi or Shula?
Lombardi.
College pro or college football or pro football?
College football.
Big Ten or SEC?
Big Ten.
Favorite college team in Major Division One?
Penn State.
Okay. Favorite pro team? Eagles.
Eagles.
Favorite book about sports? Do you read like biographies of coaches and stuff?
Sure. John Wooden.
Okay. Right. 85 Bears or Ray Lewis Ravens?
85 Bears.
Marino or Elway?
Marino.
Brady or Montana?
Montana.
Walter Payton or Barry Sanders?
Walter Payton. Hey.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Walter.
Shotgun or behind center?
Behind center.
Okay, that's good. The only other
I can
question.
tell you GA's, but I can tell you all his.
Well, I'm sure he's going to say SEC,
Oh, of course.
right?
Yeah.
I have to ask you. I was watching that Bloomsburg game again, and I looked at your offensive linemen, and they're svelte. They're not like big, chubby, huge guys. And they even said you don't have anybody 300 pounds or over starting. Is that by design, like the old Denver Broncos? You're smaller but quicker, or did it just work out that way?
I mean, some of those guys were over 300 pounds when we recruited them.
Okay.
And they've been working hard and getting rid of that belly fat and trying to make it into muscle. And I think we need to play with athletic kids. And we do a lot of pin pull, and we move our guys around quite a bit. So you need to be athletic to play up front. you'd like to have the huge, big body guys, and it seems like the PSAC is that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we go up against a lot of big teams, and I like to call it the elephant graveyard, where you got a lot of big 6'5", 330 pounders, and those guys usually get sucked up by the full scholarship teams.
Right.
If they're that big in our league, they're usually just big.
Right.
And I like to get guys. I like to recruit guys that they might not pass the measurement test, but they're good football players, and they're going to be good players for us.
And that's where your speed over size, I guess.
I mean, you can't really. I mean, speed is, to me, that's the game.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with having great speed and toughness, where you're giving up something, but you know, size in the end can wear you down at times if you're rotating enough guys in there. Obviously, you'd like to have both.
Right.
We're built right now, you know, we don't have a lot of big guys, but I think we have a lot of athletic and fast kids.
Yeah. What is your dream job? You know, do you have one that you think, man, that's...
I mean, to me, it's about family first. So it would be about what's best for my kids and my wife. But yeah, it would be pretty nice running out of Nittany, you know, being at Penn State during a whiteout. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Also, I think like Villanova or University of Pennsylvania. I mean, I'm a Philly guy.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could go win the Ivy League at Penn.
Yeah.
Be nice being in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Franklin Field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd see you all the time. I live in Philly.
There you go. There you go. Philadelphia's a great place.
Yeah.
It's a great spot. I love it. I've been coaching for, over 20 plus years, and all the spots that I've been at, it's probably a 30-mile radius.
Really?
By design.
All southeastern Pennsylvania. Not, I guess, but I never had West Virginia call me up and offer me a job, or Penn State or Pitt. But yeah, I'm just fortunate to be coaching. There's a lot of good coaches out there that aren't even coaching.
Right.
So I'm just fortunate to be coaching and try to make where we're at the best place in the country.
Right. Well, thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks.
Continued success the rest of the year. And
Appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you.
Thanks.
So, your offense is rolling right now. So, a lot has to do with the quarterback play. Like, you know, your offensive line, they've been growing, and they've given the quarterbacks a whole lot of, you know, opportunity to start running the offense. So, you've had combined 3 offensive player of the weeks with Nickel and the Gobbo. So, how's that been?
Yeah, I guess Colin got it again today, right? Yeah, and Craig, and even going back to last year, Chris Kane
Yeah.
was another quarterback that got it against Slippery Rock in the final week of the season, which was an awesome week too, and a wonderful kid that was a fifth-year senior that waited his turn. And he got an opportunity the last 2 weeks to really capitalize on it and played well. Those are the kind of things that make me feel good as a coach. And Eric has really worked his way. Eric's done very, very well. He's come really a long way since August of a year ago to August this year. It's amazing how far he's come. He was never a guy that I thought we could put in a game that mattered.
Yeah.
As that season progressed last year, he got a little playing time. But Chris is the guy that kind of became, and he was a fifth-year senior, and Chris is a very bright kid. And, but Eric was, really worked at it. We had a great off-season meeting, and he knew exactly kind of what he needed to do to get in the mix, and I needed him to step up, and because competition makes everybody better.
Yeah.
And Colin needs somebody to push him as well, and when he's not being pushed, it can be difficult. And I think any coach would tell you that at any position. And so we have a lot of competition. We constantly have it with wide receivers. And, you see we have 12 and 11 and then 10. We have double-figure guys catching balls every week.
Yeah.
So one week, one guy may catch 6, the next week he may catch 1. But, the quarterbacks are coached to spread the ball around and throw it where they're not, And so, where you want to go? Well, here's the read progression, 1 to 2 to 3, but, throw it where they ain't. Wherever they're not defending, that's the guy you want to throw it to based on the progression. And they've done a good job of that, and they both have had their moments this year. They both, for the most part, we've taken care of the ball. I think the most important stat right now has been that I think we're somewhere in the top 2 or 3 in the country in least amount of turnovers. and so the quarterbacks protecting the football is something
Yeah.
we talk about constantly. And if you don't protect the football, it's hard to play for me. And I use, Connor Shaw at South Carolina. I've always used a 5-to-1 ratio is what I thought was elite as a quarterback, meaning 5 touchdown passes to every interception.
Yeah.
I believe Tim Tebow won the Heisman and was like 20-4, and right at the 5-to-1 ratio won the Heisman. Connor Shaw, his senior year at South Carolina, threw 24 touchdown passes and 1 pick. So he had 24-to-1 ratio. I've never seen that. I've never heard of that. And it gave us, that's what gave, with a good defense, and you do that, even though, we averaged 34, 35 a game.
Yeah.
We were a heck of an offense, back in those days. But we also took care of the ball. And when you have a good defense and you take care of the ball, you win a lot of games. And so that hasn't changed anywhere I've ever coached. And they're doing a good job of that right now. And that's, as long as they keep doing that, and then doing what's required of them in the system, then I think we're going to be okay. And they keep getting better every game. I mean, it's a lot different than what they were running before, and all the verbiage and all that. So, and the reads and things. And so I'm proud of both of them for what they've accomplished so far. And I think playing 2 of them, I've never been one of those guys that thinks, some guys think if you have 2, you don't have 1, and that's not true.
Yeah.
That's cockamamie. I've never understood any of that theory at all, and have always tried to develop the ones that are younger and develop them and get them ready to play. And they always should have the expectation that they're going to
So
play.
what would you say is special about this group of guys? You say football is football everywhere, so there's always got to be something about a group of guys.
Yeah, I think they really have the leadership this year versus last year is much better, and I think the guys in the leadership roles have gotten more comfortable with being in that. I don't know that last year they really knew how to lead. They were the leaders, the captains, whatever, but sometimes you have to, you also have to coach kids how to lead sometimes too, and while they're learning that, the coaches have to be able to pick that up, and we did that last year much more as coaches than we are now. I think our guys are starting to take ownership of the team, and I see the difference in that. And I know that as you're building a program and you're building a culture, that once that happens, man, life's a lot easier. It's so much easier on the coaches that you can go spend more time with, X's and O's. But, the whole team is, our meetings and Jim and I have always been that way. And getting to know your players off the field and all of that kind of helps you when you coach them hard, because we coach them hard now. We don't let things slide, and we're trying to still we got to get rid of the penalties. That's the kind of the next step. We have too many penalties, and we got to get more discipline in that. But we don't let things slide. And when you coach people hard, they have to trust you, and they got to trust you that you have their best interest in heart. And the only way to do that, I believe, is to really get to know and have a relationship with your players, and by having meetings. And sometimes it's just about talking about whatever you want to talk about, it has nothing to do with football, just life in general. And they realize that you have them first in your heart, and then when you coach them hard, I think they pull together a little bit more and understand why you're trying to make them better. And in today's world, that's it is becoming increasingly more difficult sometimes. And I really like our team. I really like our kids, because I think they really deep down like to be coached, and it's practice is fun.
Oh, good, man. That's good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Great
Thank
job.
you. Any pub we can get for the Golden Bears, we'll take it.
Yep.